For years, I thought that something was wrong with me. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and later on diagnosed with ADHD and borderline personality disorder. Every diagnosis felt like another reason why life was harder to me than it was to others, at least in my mind. I spent years trying to fix myself and trying to find out what was wrong with me and how I could heal. Then I discovered two things that changed my life forever and the way I saw myself: the Wabi Sabi philosophy and Reiki. And no, they didn't magically solve all my problems, but they did change the way I moved through them. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ritz, and today I wanted to do a video about the Wabi Sabi philosophy and Reiki and what they taught me about me and myself. So basically, a few years ago, I felt like I was constantly chasing a version of myself that didn't exist. I thought that if I could just become more productive, more organized, more disciplined, more healed, then maybe I'd finally feel at peace. But every time I reached one goal, there was always another thing I needed to improve. I was exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally too. And I spent so much of my life thinking I was behind everyone else. If you ever struggled with your mental health, you probably know what I mean. You watch other people moving forward with their lives and wonder, why does everything seem so much harder for me? That was a question I asked myself a lot, especially after being diagnosed with ADHD and borderline personality disorder. At first, the diagnosis was a relief because it felt like I finally had answers. But at the same time, they became labels I carried everywhere. I started seeing myself through the lens of everything that was wrong with me. And that's when Reiki came in. What attracted me to Reiki wasn't only the promise of another way of healing, but it was the opportunity to slow down, to pause, and to reconnect with myself. Before Reiki, I spent most of my life worrying about the future or analyzing the past. My mind was always racing. Reiki was one of the first things that taught me how to simply be present. Because when I learned more about Reiki, I created my page called Wabi Sabi Room. And when I was trying to create my page and trying to find out names that resonated with the message that I wanted to communicate, I learned about Wabi Sabi and what Wabi Sabi meant. For those who don't know, Wabi Sabi is a Japanese philosophy centered around the beauty of imperfection, impermanence, and authenticity. The idea is simple. Nothing is perfect, nothing lasts forever, and nothing is ever truly complete. When I first studied that, something within me clicked, because I realized I had spent my entire life trying to become perfect. I thought healing meant reaching another level, or reaching a point where I never struggled, where I never got overwhelmed, where I never had bad days. But that's not how life works. And honestly, that's not how healing works either, because healing isn't linear. Wabi Sabi taught me that being a work in progress is not a flaw. It's part of becoming human. Instead of constantly asking myself, how do I become a better version of myself? I started asking, how can I be kinder to the version of myself that exists right now? And that question changed everything. And the concept of Wabi Sabi with the concept of Reiki taught me something that sounds incredibly simple, but surprisingly difficult for me: to stop fighting myself, to stop treating myself like I was a problem to fix, to stop treating myself like I was a problem that needed solving, to stop believing that my worth was based on how productive, successful, or healed I was. Instead, it taught me how to be present, how to listen, to notice what I need instead of constantly pushing myself beyond my limits. And over time, both Reiki and Wabi Sabi helped me see my diagnosis differently. Not as proof that I was broken, but as part of my story. A story that shaped me, challenged me, and taught me things I might never have learned otherwise. Don't get me wrong, I still have ADHD. I still have to take my medication. I still have days where things feel very difficult. I still have days where I have panic attacks. I still have days where I cry because I can't see the way out, but at least I'm no longer spending my life trying to become someone else. I'm learning how to work with myself instead of against myself. And that has made all the difference. So if you're in a season of rebuilding your life, struggling, healing, or simply trying to figure things out, I want you to know something. You do not have to become perfect in order for your life to feel beautiful. And you don't need to earn your worth. You're already worthy. And you're not broken. Maybe you're simply becoming who you are. If you'd like to know more about Wabi Sabi or Reiki, I encourage you to learn more about them with people that understand about them and can teach you about them. I personally would recommend for you to speak with my own teacher who taught me Reiki level 1 and level 2. I will put her little at here if she lets me. And if you're interested in topics like personal growth, mental health, navigating your late 20s, make sure to subscribe and comment down below if you're also rebuilding your life, because I would love to hear your story. Thank you for watching. Bye.